40% of Australians that are currently working from home. What I've found is that, you know, the challenges seen of many of these remote workers, they haven't set their suitable workstations up, and some aren't working out of the toilet, Chris. But what they're doing is that there's a report saying that 33% of remote workers are working from their dining tables, 16% from their beds, and 15% from their sofa, and that leaves 36% that are set up correctly. This number needs to be increased most definitely and dramatically, or we are going to see an increase in injuries. Yeah. And implementing a work from home policy that you know, has a look at all of this and self-certify that their home office is safe and addresses any of these risks, that needs to exist for employers.
Indeed. Michael?
Look, I think there's a number of elements, as I touched on earlier. Role clarity and performance clarity are really key. But as I think Mary put in the chat, it's not a one size fits all, and absolutely understanding the individual needs is important. Look, it's always been important to any good employment relationship, is tailoring to the needs of the individual. It's even more so now when we have people working remote and hybrid relationships.
Thank you. Chris?
Yeah, I just come back on my toilet home office. I have to say, I gutted what was the toilet and fitted it out as a micro office. It cost me money. My employer was happy for me to work from home 2 or 3 days a week, but didn't offer any money. And I keep coming back to this issue in the here and now. That was nearly 30 years ago that I was in that situation, and it didn't bother me. But I wonder how many employers have really begun to plumb the depths of the cost of hybrid working and how it will play out into the future. Some are doing it, most I think are not doing it. And if I just loop into what we're doing at Vic with our teaching, I remembered some work I did for the Institute of Safety Management some years ago, where many people said they could not take time off work to do studying. Now I'm in a position where I can organize block courses for the papers I teach, and I've tried to make them as far as possible on a Friday online so that students can come and study and not have to travel considerable distances, the length of the country. And it's just another aspect of how our lives are changing because of COVID and because of the changing infrastructure around workplaces, including study places. That's all.
Thank you. Paulette?
Chris, I like how you got in there the word plum, so to link back to your toilet system. There's a couple of messages come up in the chat as well. One of them from Dan saying at the end, hybrid working should be seen as an enabler, not as an endpoint. And with all enablers, we need to clearly define standards. So certainly with the work expectations, what is expected from someone working from home. But as Fiona has said there as well about having the policies in place, you know, for what is a remote work going to look like, what is your office going to look like, and how you're set up. Certainly I'm waiting for the case law to start coming through in regards to people sitting on sofas and having injuries and not having the right one. It's not you know, if it's going to happen, it's when is it going to happen situation. So waiting for that to come in as well. And Mary's also put in the chat, managers need to be more active in managing their teams and responding to individual issues. Bad management at work gets worse in remote workplaces, and I would have to absolutely agree with that one as well. Yep. So some really good points coming across there too.
Thank you, Paulette. And Peter, to round us up.
Yeah, maybe just picking up on that last comment, and also one of the data points you threw out around mental health. I think, you know, a lot of this comes back to basic conversation skills matter. And for managers, we've taught them a lot from a health and safety perspective on how to do hazard management, risk assessments, and they're getting okay. They're still not great at that, but they're getting okay at addressing what they can see. But we're not good at all at addressing things we can't see. and we have to equip managers with basic skills to know when something needs to have a conversation and how to have that conversation. And I'll just throw out a plug. I'm in no way associated with Good Yarn, but Good Yarn is a program I've seen used in a couple of organisations, and it's a fantastic tool to enable managers to start having those basic conversations. It was developed for the rural sector in New Zealand, where we were seeing lots of farmers involved with suicide issues. And this is just, skills we need to equip our leaders with much more effectively.